Welcome everyone to South Side Kōrero. My name, of course, is Vincent Tara Vitalina. You already know that because we're already into how many episodes? 17 episodes. Today we're with Stania. She is my friend. She's my pain in the butt. But besides that, just an awesome person. We went through a lot of things. We went through your journey through why you decided to do animation, to now where you're in Yoobee doing a lot of things, and we're going in between your journey. Is there anything you want to add in about this episode that you want to share with us?
Don't be a dick. It's not that hard to be a decent person.
She's talking about me, folks.
I'm talking to myself as well. Stania, leave your mom alone. Stop bullying your dad.
With that said, it's going to be an awesome episode, and I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Hello, my name is Stania. I go by Serious online as it's much easier to spell and remember. You try spelling Stania the first go, it just goes Stany.
Yeah, I remember trying to do that.
I'm an art student. You can tell by the way I'm dressed. Professional bully of our lovely host.
It still stings.
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So you mentioned that you're a animator, and it's a big job when you go through media and whatnot, especially the different advances that animation has gone through from drawing on by hand to digital. What got you into animation? What got you into drawing in the first place?
Growing up, you have three brothers or any type of siblings. You always have there's always a sibling that was big into anime. For me, that was my oldest brother, who currently lives in Australia. So growing up, at any chance, if you remember, Naruto was on Cartoon Network.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we'd watch that, and for me personally, it was there were two parts of the anime that got me into drawing and animation. It was mostly. Do you remember the whole arc, the very first arc when they go to the Mist Village and you meet Haku and Zabuza?
Oh yeah, that's it. So for viewers, Naruto is an anime that's it's big around the world, and if you talk to your kids, adults, they will know what Naruto is. So this is like season 1, right? This is like very early season.
Very early.
Yeah.
So along with that, it was the fight in the tuning exams, the fight with Rock Lee and Gaara.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the entire thing. Those two were. And they were a big part of wanting me to get into animation. Yeah,
because if I remember correctly, the choreography, and all the fight scenes in that was incredible, right?
Was so good. I like to rewatch that every chance I get.
Yeah, so it's like every water drop in the mist fight, and then it's like the sand, the choreographing of the sand attacks that happened between him and Rock Lee and him. It's like, So watching those sort of things, what did you end up doing afterwards? Did you go straight into just drawing on hand and pen and paper, or was it that you went into computer straight away?
Well, I watched that when I was about 7, so it was basically paper at first.
Okay.
So I grew up with that. I grew up with a lot of paper, a lot of wasted pens and pencils. Sorry, Mom. I think I drawn some of her stuff. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, that's progress, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of progress. It was a bit hard to explain this type of thing to my parents. You know, silent parents. You know how they are. So it was a bit odd for them to understand because, most of my family, they're either mechanic, acting, sport, any of those things. So for people to know that I'm doing art, content, and all that, it was a bit weird for them. But I think most of them are supporting understanding right now.
Oh, okay. So how long did it take for them to support you? Well, you said it took a while. How did they end up supporting you with your artwork? Did they keep pushing you into going into places, or did they buy like artwork stuff for you to follow, or was it that all on you to keep in track within your artwork stuff?
It was mostly me having to keep track because it was mostly my time in high school, which I realized this is what I really wanted to do. So my mom was more able to listen to try and understand what I wanted to do. Because I know she wanted me to find something I really, really want to get into, and I told her, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm really into. My dad was shortly after, which due to me wanting, high school doesn't really get into this type of thing, or it's just the high school I went to. I won't name the high school, but they know who they are.
That's fine.
So this kind of thing led to me leaving high school, which looking back, I don't really mind. So I was happy when one of my teachers recommended either Unitech or MIT. Because during this time, I was thinking about redoing year 13, which I wasn't really a fan of. So for her to recommend these things, I was quite happy, quite thankful. And it was good that my parents were letting me do this kind of thing as well.
Because, like you said, with growing up in an island scenario, it is quite hard because we are growing up into an environment where our parents and our siblings we fix work our way to help out the family.
Yeah.
And that's via like doing a lot of work to bring in the kupe or the money.
Gotta bring it in.
Yeah. And there's no time for us to do that sort of artwork and whatnot. No. So with that said, and you've left high school, what was the next step afterwards for you after leaving high school? Where did you go out from there?
Well, during the first half of the year, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I was trying to like figure out what am I going to do. I don't want to go back. I don't want to redo this. So it was last year, the second half of the second semester was when the July intake was when I got into MIT.
Wow. So you went straight from high school. That was the previous year, not going through to year 13, and then July we meet each other. Is that right? Oh, wow. Because
it was either go back to high school or find somewhere else. I took find somewhere else. I can't go back.
Yeah, and I understand that because when I was in high school, they didn't have like journalists. They had media study, and that was the suck thing about it was there was no journalists. Journalism studies. Yeah. So I had to go like you went out to do like polytechnics and whatnot, and I didn't have the credits for it, so I did private institutes. So with that said, what brought you to MIT? Why did you pick MIT?
I'll be very honest. I wanted to go to Yoobee, but my parents were very against it, seeing it's in the city. AUT was another option, but I wasn't really sure of it. So I just went with what the teacher recommended for me, and it was either Unitech or MIT, and I picked that one. And yeah, it was, I looking at what it offered, I was quite familiar with some of the stuff, especially with Photoshop and such. Taking graphic design in high school, I was quite familiar with it. Premiere Pro, no idea what that was at the time.
Yeah. Now that makes sense because you just came out of high school and you weren't used to the media standards for digital media.
I wasn't.
So what was it like being in Guy Pigton's class? What was it like for you as a high school student going into like university studies? Was it difficult?
At first, I thought it'd be. There were times when I felt like it was hard, but yeah, Guy was an amazing teacher. You know, he was understanding. He was if you struggle with something, he'd be able to phrase it in a way you'd understand. For me, Guy was one of, if not the best teacher I ever had. I loved all my teachers, but it's just like Guy, he put up a standard for me. It was like, oh, I know I can trust this teacher. He was fantastic. He was different to all the other teachers I've had. Well, except my architecture teacher. They were quite similar. Shot Mr. Williams. You're the GOAT. But yeah, Guy was he was great to learn from.
What were some of the barriers for you going from transitioning from high school studies to university? Because I couldn't imagine being fresh off from high school, and besides learning the software and whatnot, were there any other external stuff that kept you away from university studies that made it hard or difficult for you to do that studies? Because I know there were times where you had to be absent because of structure, because of obstruction and whatnot.
Yeah, I've said before, there were times when I felt like I've struggled, and it was mostly on my part because I wasn't used to this type of thing. I was used to like you take a week of theory, numerous weeks of theory, and you have little time for practical. So for this kind of environment, it was odd to get used to, and I was a bit slow with it. Which, yeah, in my circumstance, would be kind of usual because you'd be straight out of high school and then you throw yourself into university type of studies. But yeah, there were times, but I was thankful that, you know, Guy was hounding after me to get me to hand stuff on time.
Yeah, no, the legends are true when you're late with your paperwork, and my goodness, and
that was always an issue. That was always an issue. Even in high school and primary, I'd be passionate about my studies, but then I'd kind of slack off one of the assignments. I still have that issue.
Yeah.
But there would be times where I'd hand in stuff on time. I do remember the very first time I handed in stuff on time for Guy.
It was a content, wasn't it? My goodness. The first time when we saw work that was handed in by you early, it was brilliant. My goodness. But along with like a lot of hard work and a lot of troubles, what would a piece of advice would you give to someone who's in your position going into high school work, going from high school into university? What are things that you can give as advice into basically prepare them for university work? What were things that you did that prepped you to going to MIT?
Oh. You know, when you asked me that, I kind of thought, what would I say to my younger self?
Yeah.
It's like just leaving high school, deciding what I want to do next. So, you know, it's I know it's a big jump, you know, jumping from one lily pad to another. But it's all right. If just take that risk, take that jump, and see where it hits you. If whether you make it there or you fall short, it's all right. You've always got someone to help you out with it. So don't be afraid to ask for help.
And that's a good thing to go for, right?
Yeah.
Is that you make sure that you ask for help. And I know that a lot of our younger viewers out there struggle with that sort of things, right?
Yeah.
You know, did you ever have those moments yourself where you were struggling to ask for help?
A lot. Yeah, there are many times because even now I struggle to ask for help. So I don't know if I asked would I be put down or would you help? It's just a constant struggle. But yeah, I know many others struggle with it, and there are times I'm able to force myself, which I'm thankful for. And yeah, that those times I was really happy. I'm still trying to ask for help. Just ask for help, man. Sheesh. Even if you have to force yourself.
No, understandable. I still do the same thing. I still struggle with help. It's a position that you don't like to be in, but at the same time, asking for help is vital. Talking to your best friends is vital, right?
Yeah.
Talking to your family is vital, and knowing you would ask for help, and I'm very proud of you for when you do. You know, it was like, sweet. She asked for help. She finally got out of the cave. It's great.
She finally forced herself out of there. Which BTS song did she play?
So MIT is going along fine, and you're trying your best to go through MIT. And then you graduate from MIT. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, Yoobee's a whole different monster, is that correct?
It is a step forward. It's like, it's like you just finished facing Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And now you have to face Malachi Black.
Those are two wrestlers, right?
Yeah. It's just like you finish one match and then Teddy Long comes up. Whoa, player! You got to be in a 2-on-1. What?
Again, for those viewers out there, it's wrestling terms. Teddy Long used to be part of the WWE, and we have two wrestlers from AEW. But how are you liking Yoobee? And what are things that you don't like about Yoobee?
Oh, you put me in a tough spot.
It's fine.
Yoobee, it's great. You know, I've learned some new skills, and I've met a lot of good people. The teachers there are amazing. Gino, I'm so sorry. I'm late in class. You know, I just got to do this. Sorry. Please don't yell at me. Yoobee. Oh, geez, it's great. You know, we just finished the film module, and it kind of, during that part, it was like, oh, I'm just basically doing stuff for a guy again, which was a good thing I had those skills. I still hate you for threatening to call Guy, by the way. What the hell's wrong with you?
Hey, I had to push you somehow. I had to.
For those who are wondering, our lovely host here, I said to him I'm procrastinating as I was ahead. So he photoshopped himself a fake screenshot of him threatening to call Guy. And
oh dear. If Guy watched this, hi May, how you doing?
Dad, he was bullying me again. Dad.
So what have you learned so far in Yoobee at the moment?
Along with the skills I carried from MIT, I've learned a lot of more skills from Photoshop, which was simple. I've learned how to collaborate more with other people, which is good because, you know, I've never collaborated with anyone. If you knew any of my high school friends, they'd tell you, oh, Stania, yeah, she never worked with people. If there was a script assignment, she'll do it alone. Yeah, so as of right now, we're doing our animation part of the course. And yeah, so far so good. Even if it's the start of that bit, it's going good so far.
What was it that made you choose Yoobee? Why wasn't it like media design school, or why wasn't it Auckland University or Auckland University Technology? What makes Yoobee the standout choice in terms of where you want to study?
Ooh. So before I answer, I'll give context. My parents were adamant on me either going to AUT or Auckland University, as they did offer some of the courses related to media and stuff like that. But after looking into it, I realized it's just mostly 3D, which, yeah, I'd love to learn how to do 3D animations, but growing up, I wanted to do more of 2D even now. And Yoobee was the only place that offered it. And Yoobee, it was always interesting for me, even back in high school when I first heard of it. And are you all right?
No, you're good. I'm good. Sorry.
No, it's cool. Just gotta make sure you're okay. Don't die. I'm here. looking into Yoobee in high school, I kind of had a goal to like get myself there, even if I had to force my parents to agree to it. Which when I applied, they weren't really enthusiastic about it, so it took a lot of convincing. By a lot, I mean like it was 2 to 3 days.
Damn. Yeah. No, I understand that.
Some parents are really stubborn, but when they get the point.
No, absolutely. It takes a while for them to see, because changes is difficult for our elderly, right? For our elders who are, from our cultural standpoint would rather see you work or do something else. But then at the same time, that's what they do. They want the best for us, really.
Yeah,
right?
and I understood what I understood their standpoint. I can see they wanted me somewhere that they'd be sort of familiar with, but I try to stand my foot down, saying this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. It's the only place I know of that offers it, and they managed to agree, and here I am now.
So for our viewers, what is the difference between 3D and 2D, and what is the different aspects of drawing on the computer and drawing freehand or on a sketch pad?
I am so lucky to meet people who do 3D now. Because during my time in Yoobee, I've met other artists. I've met the level 5 class who do 3D, and it seems cool, but after watching how it's done, it's a lot of rigging, a lot of.
So what is rigging?
Oh shoot! How do I explain? So rigging is just like so what I've been told for. I remember it's basically like it's so the character you have, it's sort of like a puppet. So you have to try and rig its movement to keep it flowing, because you don't really want it to just be mucking about. You don't want leg there.
Yeah. So you don't. So for instance, so let's just say that I'm a VTuber. So virtual YouTuber is basically using 3D scans of a model.
Yeah.
And what it does is that every part, which is rigging, because this is my understanding of rigging, is that each part is intricate. So you have a point. So each point has movement in there. So
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I remember. And meeting and talking with people who are learning 3D, it's more time consuming to get it done, to get one movement, because it looks amazing if the final product, it looks amazing, but the work behind it, it's so long. And to anyone who does 3D, oh, you are a soldier. 2D, a similar thing, but the thing, as someone who does simple 2D, it's like it's frame by frame.
Yeah.
So you have to draw it out, make sure the layers are good, make sure the time frame is bit by bit, make sure nothing is whack, there's no stray doodle on a frame. Gotta make sure it's working, and both are hard, both are time consuming, but once you get it down, it still is time consuming, but it's much more familiar and easier to work with.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So would you say 2D is like traditional animation? So it's like your Looney Tunes, old school cartoon stuff. Is that would you say that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all done by hand.
All done by hand. Just
you different. So when you mean by layers, is like you have your background, you have your character, and
yeah.
That's cool. What is it that you wanna get out of Yoobee in the future? What is it that you wanna be when you get out of that studies?
Well, hopefully by the end, I'll have more skills to animate a lot more. Not just animate, but like comics, character designs, and more stuff in media, especially with the second certificate I'm doing. Yeah, it's just I'm hoping to get more skills just to get better with it.
Yeah.
Especially with media studies along with art. It's just hopefully I'll get to combine them both to get stuff like the Music World of Gumball.
So you want your own animation series? Is that what you're saying?
Hopefully my own animation series, because right now I'm working on a webtoon. It's not.
Wow. Yeah.
To get the low point. So the thing about the series I'm working on is just basically, I'll give context. So for the story, there are 7 chapters, and within 7 chapters, you meet an individual character. So for example, the first one, you meet the first character who's consumed by greed, because it's basically each character they're consumed by a different sin, and they're hoping to break out of it.
Nice.
And with each character, you see there's a link to another, and it's up to you. It's up to you to find the link before the 8th chapter.
Wow, that's actually an awesome concept in terms of webtoons.
Yeah, the inspiration was the 7 Deadly Sins, some tarot cards, and the BTS Wings album.
Oh wow, nice. So music and as well as anime. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Nice.
There's a lot of references I'll hope to throw in with each chapter.
Nice. We're coming up to our final 2 questions. One of them being, what is it that you see yourself in the future doing? What is Stania in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10. What is Stania doing? 5.
Besides doing your animation series, what is it that a young 30 to 20-year-old Stania wants to get out of life?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I never look into my 5-year plans. I don't know what I'm doing in the next 5 minutes. 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Hopefully, by 5 to 10 years, I'll be traveling.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a thing I've been hoping, not just alone with my little sister. Because me and her, we've kind of wanted. She's been wanting to go to Japan, and I thought, we'll go one day. We'll go one day when Mom lets us. But yeah, if I am to go traveling one day, I hope my little sister. Oh, here's a fun fact about my sister and I. So my sister is 7. You've met her. She's a little monster.
Yep.
Our little Hiromu. Her and I share the exact same birthday.
Wow. Damn.
Which is an odd gift to give an 11-year-old little girl.
But you want to travel with her, is that right?
Yeah, she's sadly my best friend.
Not sadly, she is your best friend. But that makes sense. So you want to travel in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
That's cool. And a lot of our viewers don't get the chance to do that sort of thing, right? They're all, from what we were talking so far, it's all about chasing that dream, that goal, and hopefully in the near future you can be able to do that.
Oh, hopefully. You can only hope.
Yeah. And my final question, as always, I always ask my guests this, is what piece of advice or quote or piece of lyric, that even a lyric that you carry in your back pocket that you'll want to share to our viewers out there? Yeah.
You are making me...
I'm making you work.
You are making me look through every single lyric, every single line, and every BTS, Shiny, Hamilton... every piece of
what is your favorite one? Where's the one?
Oh gosh. Okay, to answer that one, my all-time favorite is Shiny, Married to the Music.
Yep.
I love that song so much.
So what's a quote from there?
I'm not looking to that song, hell no.
Is there a quote that you actually do have that you...
Ooh.
Or do you want, or something that you feel that needs to be a quote? It's
more like a quote from Demon Slayer.
No, that's fine.
I carried this quote since I saw the movie, but as Kyojo Rengoku said in his final moments, set your heart ablaze.
Yeah. And he's in Rengoku Rengoku's from an anime called Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
What do you think that means? Set your heart ablaze.
I feel like on his standpoint, it means like, just keep going. Even if you find yourself struggling, I want you to keep, even in the moment, I'm not putting spoilers, even as he's saying that to Tanjiro, I feel like that's his piece of advice to him, as it is my advice to you. You know, if you find yourself staggering, stumbling, falling on concrete, you know, don't stop. If you find yourself in a tough situation, this is what I do. If you find yourself in a tough situation, look forward and imagine one person you'd love to punch in the face.
That's a hell of a piece of advice, my friend. Well, again, thank you once again, Stania.
Thank you. It was fun.
No, absolutely. And I wish you luck in your future endeavors. I wish you luck in Yoobee, and hopefully I can be able to go to your graduation, and well, we'll see what happens on there.
If I do graduate, you are getting an instant invite.
Sweet. Thank you once again, and once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Kia ora.